Welcome to MoTorque, the program where we bring you cars, bikes, adventure, classics, motorsport, and indeed whatever wheels that have torque. Here's a quick look at what we have in store for you this week. We check out another Sino-Lankan small car, the Micro Voleex. And some dramatic action from the city of the Rock Fortress, the Sigiriya Rally Cross 2013.
Chinese cars in general are not exactly people's first choice when car hunting. Although they usually are very cheap to buy, conventional wisdom has it that you are better off simply buying a good used Japanese or Korean vehicle because they are better overall in terms of quality and durability. However, Chinese car makers are not unaware of this fact, and each successive generation of their vehicles has improved by a huge margin over the last. A level of improvement that used to take the Japanese and the Koreans decades to achieve. It's gotten to a point now that cars of the latest generation can genuinely be considered a serious option for the consumer. What we've got here is a great example of this. It's called the Volex C10, originally a product of Great Wall Motors. It's offered in Sri Lanka by Microcars, has a very attractive price, and is claimed to offer an unbeatable value for money proposition. So we are now going to put that claim to the test. Styling wise, the Volex appears to be an almost direct copy of the previous generation Toyota Vitz, which is a good thing because the Vitz was a decent looking little hatchback. They really didn't need to do any tweaking, but it seems the Chinese can't quite resist the urge to tinker, because the Volex has been given a massive waterfall of chrome up front that looks like it came off a Mahindra. That really jars and is the only negative in what is otherwise a fairly well executed design. Especially considering the fact that the Volex is available with a more conventional looking nose in other markets, it's really a mystery as to why we got this particular design. The interior of the Volex is the very first indication that the Chinese, by that I mean Great Wall, are very serious about quality. That means by Chinese standards it's absolutely fantastic. The plastics used are of a very good quality and not cheap feeling like you'd expect or you'd have indeed seen in Chinese cars of old. They seem durable and they're fitted together very well too. So first big surprise, it's built well. Second big surprise is it's actually comfortable. Unlike various other cars that came out of China in the past, it's ergonomic and can fit normal sized human beings. Seat adjustment has an excellent range. The steering wheel also adjusts, but not for telescope unfortunately. And getting comfortable behind the wheel is very easy. The level of kit is extremely comprehensive as well, with electric windows, mirrors and remote central locking, even parking sensors. And they even decided to give you a sunroof, which is very rare in this price class. So really, it's comprehensively equipped as well and pretty well built. So complete winner on the interior stakes. Long-term durability, well, we'll have to see. From initial impressions, it's very, very positive. The Volex is, of course, mainly aimed at the city car driving audience, and it will be expected to spend most of its life in town, in traffic, going to the shops and that sort of thing. So naturally in that environment it excels. The size is nice, it feels very wieldy and you can thread it through tight spaces with no problem. The steering is very light and crucially it's responsive enough that you can shoot for gaps in traffic, take quick overtakes and generally do very well in cut and thrust urban drive. The Volex is powered by a 1.5 litre 4-cylinder variable valve timed engine, which is bigger than you'd find in most cars of this size. That means, of course, that if you get onto the open road, there's enough power to spare. So whether you're looking to overtake quickly or go up to sustained speed on the highway, you've got enough power that you don't have to worry about it. Putting the power down is a CVT gearbox. The very first CVT that I've driven from a Chinese manufacturer, and I'm happy to report that it works well. Personally, I'm not a fan of the CVT's power delivery characteristics, where the engine revs up to a constant speed and then the car keeps accelerating while the engine is at that speed. But on a city car, it works well enough. This gearbox even has a manual option, which lets you shift through 5 virtual gears, and that gives more of an impression of being able to control the gearbox. So it's a level of technology that's pretty impressive considering where this car is made. Even the handling is pretty well sorted. It's not a sports car at all, and it's not really the most enthusiastic thing for throwing around corners, but it sticks well, roll is kept to a decent limit, and at no point does it feel like it's gonna fall off the road or get you completely into trouble if you go a little too fast into a corner. This again is probably the first time you can say this with confidence about a Chinese car. So we've got to call that a win for it as well. All in all, on road it's extremely competent, and that is very impressive. The Micro Voleex then does pretty much everything it says on the tin. It's built rather well, has a lot of kit, can fit 4 passengers in comfort, and even has pretty decent road manners. And crucially, it does all this while maintaining the traditional value for money aspect as well. As long as they've got long-term reliability and durability sorted out, Micro certainly look like they've got a real contender on their hands here. The 2013 Sigiriya Rally Cross was once again held at Sigiriya Air Force Camp, a perfect venue to hold a true rally cross. As you can see, the start-finish straight has the tarmac runway, and the rest of the track has been cut into the dirt, forming the gravel part of the track.
Indeed, and with Fox Hill being fresh in the minds of many, we were all eager to see what was in store for us this time.
Yep, and we must point out that this was the second race organized by the Sri Lankan Autosports Drivers Association, or SLADA.
Yep, so let's get this started, shall we?
And first off is everyone's favorite small cars, the Minis, which took to the track in some style. As usual, when these little legends hit the track, there was plenty of close racing and some really dramatic action as well.
Next up was the Ford Laser 1300 class, with all the thrills and spills that racing fans expect. The action, as always, was fast-paced and highly competitive. In first place was Upperwan Sarasinghe, second place Kushan Piris, and third newcomer Damit Weerasinghe.
Then we saw the first race of the big guns, the SLGT class. The sheer speeds these cars can achieve are always extremely challenging on tight courses like this, and the mixed tarmac and gravel surface demanded extreme focus from the drivers as well. As you can see, there was a significant incident on the first corner itself that quickly collected other cars. As a result of this, the race was restarted. On the restart, Ashan Silva in his Evolution 3 charged off to an early lead and then consolidated his position throughout.
The action continued throughout the race, and as you can see here, one of our cameras almost gets destroyed.
Pasindu Piris in second place was also very quick, but he could not make a serious challenge in the end, and Ashan walked away with the race, with Pasindu finishing second and Aravinda Premadasa ending up third. Then came the SLN up to 1000cc event, as usual consisting of Nissan Marches. Because the cars in this event are very evenly matched, the level of competition is super intense, and each driver pushes to their limits and beyond. Sometimes, of course, they would push too hard and the result would be a rather undignified exit, as you see here.
The ever-popular Ford Lasers were up again after the marches. This time the 1500 versions took to the track to show off the usual aggressive maneuvers. This race again was run by Upawan Sarasinghe. Second place was Chaminda Weerasuriya and third went to Kushan Pires. Race 1 of the SLH 1600 with its Honda Civics was next in line, and they set about showing exactly why this is one of the most keenly contested classes around. Ashan Silva was one of the favourites to win, but a mechanical issue led to him retiring, so Pasandu Pires took the win, with Upawan Sarasinghe coming in second, and Janaka Dias third.
The truck and jeep event was next up, and this was particularly notable because some rather interesting machines competed in it, including the Mitsubishi Pajero Evolution of Ishraq Wahab and the Toyota RAV4 of Dinesh Senanayaka that runs the hardware from a Celica GT4. These two machines were head and shoulders above the rest of the field, and it was basically their race all along.
Here you see Duminder Jayasinghe retiring because of a puncture.
Although Ishraq grabbed the lead from the start line, Dinesh reeled him in by the halfway mark and then managed to stay ahead all the way to the flag. Then we had the Subaru Legacy up to 2200cc event, sometimes called the hearse event because of the unlikely spectacle of station wagons racing. Although these cars are equipped with all-wheel drive, the drivers had a bit of trouble staying pointed the right way on the muddy gravel, and we could see some rather spectacular spins throughout the race. Then we had race 2 of SLH, with Ashan Silva returning after sorting out his mechanical issues from race 1. Pasandu Pires took the lead early and held on for a while, with Ashan challenging strongly for second. While that was going on up front, in the middle of the pack, Zakir Wahab misjudged a corner and went end over end. Thankfully, he was okay and walked away from this one. Meanwhile up front, it was Pasindu who had the mechanical issues this time, and Ashan ended up taking the win, with Upulwan Serasinghe second and Lakmal Vijayaratna coming third.
And finally, we have the second race of the big guns, with the top flight drivers battling it out. The first corner itself saw a bit of drama, with Misika Naveen and Garmini Nelson for some reason deciding to go straight on rather than taking the corner. But no damage was sustained, so they continued on. Dinesh Terragoda was not driving his usual Evolution 10 in this race, and instead used an older Evolution 6. But he still managed to drive a good race and finish second. Pasindu and Aravinda were on good form, but unfortunately mechanical issues derailed both of them midway through. Anyway, it was once again Ashan Silva who carried the day and wrapped up a clean sweep of SLGT at Sigiriya.
Well, that just about wraps up our coverage of the Sigiriya Rally Cross. We hope you enjoyed the action.
Today the driving conditions are so different. Most of our vehicles, they have to run at 100 kilometers per hour speed for 1 hour or more. So you have to ensure your cooling system can absorb all the generated heat from your engine and cool it down and bring it back to its original working temperature for the whole of your journey. For that, the efficiency of your cooling system is very important. To enhance the efficiency of your cooling system, there are so many steps that you can follow. One is this, the proper or the high quality coolant. You can use a high quality coolant to your cooling system so that system efficiency will remain at its optimum. And at the same time, you have to use a lot of hose clamps in your systems. Use always the best quality, probably stainless steel hose clamps, so that it will last long and it won't give away.